Good afternoon. We're here at the Vienna Opera Academy in Vienna at the Borromeus Saal just before the general rehearsal of Così fan tutte. And we're going to talk with some special guests today. And one very special guest now is Helen Lepalaan from Tallinn, Estonia. She's a casting director and a singer, and we're going to find out just how she came to the Vienna Opera Academy and what her future entails. Good afternoon, Helen.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Very well, in spite of all the heat, which is
Very
outside
hot,
from the weather.
Indeed.
And of course, to work and for singers to work, it's very demanding. So when they can do in these conditions, weather conditions, they can do it everywhere.
Exactly.
So,
Well, tell us a little bit about how you, first of all, your background and how you came to the Vienna Opera Academy.
well, my first profession is an opera singer, was and is. And at a certain point, I also became a teacher, not because I wanted, but because it happened, and then it continued. And at one point, because I was living also in Europe, working in Europe, and at one point I went back to Estonia for also family reasons. And I was offered the position in Music Academy, and then I was a guest soloist, also at Estonian National Opera. But at one point, they needed a casting director with a background which suited very well, which I have. And with the director of the Academy, Jesus, we are very good colleagues and friends for many years already. And we have been discussing sometimes the problems and the future of the opera and where it can get better, where it has gone wrong. And we have a very mutual understanding of things. So he invited me to support young singers, to support the event, to support the education in a way.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Very, very good. And with the program that they are doing here at the Academy, did you already have a favorite role that you saw or favorite opera that you saw or what have you? What else attracted you to the program?
Well, they do Così fan tutte of Mozart, which I did in Welsh National Opera, and I sang the part of Dorabella, so I know that opera throughout.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be nice to also to see the approach and maybe give a little help of how to build the character and for singers.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part is that singing is a very complex process, and it's quite similar to being a sportsman. You don't do it alone, already for the reason that you never hear yourself how the others hear you. And of course there is education, but as I said, it's very complex. It involves the technique, really the breathing technique, the building up the instrument, because we as different from the other musicians, we build that instrument inside. The others have it, they take it out from the box, or they open the piano, so it exists already. So this is this. Then there is the studying of the repertoire, all the musicality, all the solfège, let's say. Then there are languages. Then the people who really are on the stage in the opera in the roles, that means also that you have to have a good acting skills. And what does that mean? So it's, as I said, it's a very complex process. And once you start to have the real experiences, it's very normal that in the beginning you're lost. You forget things. You make, maybe even you sacrifice some health of the vocalizing or the health of the voice in order to express. And so you need people around who would guide you and say, stop here, let's fix this. And so you build up this stamina, this knowledge, multitasking. So yeah, people who support that and who really can give a good advice are always welcome.
Okay, very, very good. Very good. And you've been to Vienna before, right?
I have been to Vienna, also a lot of times traveling through Vienna.
Right, yes. And your view of the city in terms of, from a musical perspective?
What can I say? This is one of the centers. It's just great. It's a metropole, of course.
Yes, yes,
It's
exactly.
a great place to be.
In your time of performing so far, when you've performed, what would you say is the most ironic or the funniest thing that happened to you, maybe in your career, if you can say, and maybe not only as a singer, but also perhaps as a coach as well?
I can say many things, and I can say one thing. Well, it's, if I would say a mezzo-soprano as my voice type, it means that I have done also a lot of Hosenrollers, which means I am a character of a man. And when a woman becomes or transforms as a character on the stage as a man, there always funny things happen.
Right.
And also starting like how men think, how women think, because many voice types never need to deal with this double personality. So, and what the funny moments what have happened, and once even the critics were saying, because we did Fledermaus, and there is this Prince Orlovsky, who is a young man, and I really went around and I saw how man is sitting differently, how he holds his body weights, and I paid attention a long time. And then I tried to find in the spoken way this sort of lower voice, but to be really manly.
Yes.
And was written in the reviews that first a young, beautiful, tall man came on the stage, spoke like a man, and then started to sing, and there was a beautiful soprano voice, so it was very good. So it seemed like a left expression that I am a man entering the stage, and that was a surprise when I started to sing.
Okay.
So in a way it's funny, but in a way it's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. And with your time here, let's say by the end of the program, what exactly would you like to have taken away from this time here, from your time at this program, by the end of it?
Well, I would be very grateful if there is no revolution in this process. There are small steps of evolutions. And if young people on the stage, for reasoning, that like I understand why they're on the stage, that they have their task which they do their best to fulfill, and when that happens, then I see that, okay, the important step has been done. That somebody finds in this process, in this difficult process, and being nervous and all adrenaline what comes up, but when they can center and really find few things what they follow and enjoy, then the big step is actually done for young singers.
Okay, I see. Very, very good. And this whole future ahead of them. Exactly.
Yes.
Excellent. Is there any final thought or piece of philosophy or advice that you would want to give before we conclude this interview toward the singers or toward those who are attending this program?
Actually, there is. I am a big appreciator of opera culture in its way, or in an old school way, what it's supposed to be. Nowadays, things get a little bit messy. Opera, first of all, opera is about music, opera is about singing, opera is about telling the story. Then coming all the other things, how somebody looks, or how somebody maybe is more attractive or not more attractive. At the moment, these things are a little bit messy. It has become a sort of entertainment, it is, but not only. So I really wish that the good culture of singing, and that is important, that the quality of the voice, the legato, all the principles which actually are able at all to carry this out, that people will come back to it, because I see it starts a little bit to disappear, the very culture of singing.
This is a very, very interesting point. I'd like to keep with that for a minute. Could you be a little more specific? Because I think it's very important what you say. When you say the focus has gotten a little bit blurry or a little bit messy, but how so? I mean, in the sense of, what does this mean? That the training isn't serious enough, or the productions aren't as tightly focused as they used to be? What do you mean by that?
It starts with education, and always.
Okay.
Former times, I know by fact, I know by materials which have reached my attention, when the singer came to a master or maestra or maestro, basically they had singing lessons 4 times a week, and they were not even allowed to practice alone until they haven't mastered certain principles. So now we are dealing with sometimes 2 times, sometimes once a week, 45 minutes. It's not enough time to build up a proper knowledge. And I also believe that a lot of, I mean, this happens in everywhere. I dare to say, unfortunately, but it happens in everywhere. The quality in many things go less. And I feel it's pity. And there are people who still carry that old knowledge of what is a good singing school. But it's less than, it's much less than it used to be. It's just also that there are not enough of proper education or in terms of how you build up your instrument.
Right.
For multiple reasons, but I mentioned.
That's what I'm curious about. Do you think that, so in this program, you would like to bring that solid, firm attitude and approach?
Yeah, and this is also a very good attempt to do a Mozart. That opera, Mozart is always very useful and is the health of the voice. And so it's very important that people don't do the wrong, or they wouldn't sing the wrong repertoire in terms of that it's too difficult for the tools what they have, because as I said, it's multitasking, and you can only do so much as you can. So you can never jump just like this over your shadow and do miracles. Yeah. This is the very important aspect, that young people sing a proper repertoire, even if so that would help them develop. It should never be too difficult, but it also should be a little challenge in order them to develop.
Exactly. Very good. It's very interesting to hear your thoughts. So, Helen, thank you so much for talking with us today, and I wish you very, very much luck and happiness in the future.
Thank you so much, and a pleasure to be here, really, because a lot of talented young singers.